the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, it's
Rehab.
It was the hardest decision I've ever made, but it was also the clearest decision I ever made. I mean, I knew that if I didn't get help, that I was going to be dead. And as I look back on my time there, I know that it was a divine appointment, because it was almost like the Lord represented himself to me in this whole new way. It's like the addicts have this term where when you work the steps, it's like you have this golf ball that is your obsession with drugs and alcohol. And when you really work the steps and not just get sober, but get free, it's almost like that. You wake up one day and that golf ball is just not there.
Really?
And I can't explain it, but it's like I woke up one day and I just saw the world differently.
Was that day in rehab?
It was really after I did my fifth step, where I just said, here it is. And then as I started to make amends to people, because that's where a lot of people in recovery get hung up. They either don't make all their amends, they don't make an honest list of who they need to make their amends to, or they may have somebody that's on their list, because it says in step 8, it says, made a list of the persons we had harmed and became willing to make direct amends to them all, except when to do so would harm them or harm others. And so the willingness was the key part, because a lot of addicts are not willing. There's some family that they messed over for years and they don't want to talk to them. And so even though logistically it may be hard to go see them, what they tell you to do is, if you're worried about the relationship, just write a letter to them. And so like I wrote a letter to the college coach that I worked for. I knew it was going to be hard to pin him down in person. And I wrote him a letter saying exactly what I did wrong, owning it, apologizing for it, asking for forgiveness. And then the letter he wrote back, I have saved on my desk ever since then.
Is that right?
I mean, just goosebumps, with the second I read it, just total forgiveness and total support and total freedom. So it was pretty powerful.
In that same step of making amends, did you have a conversation with your parents?
Definitely. They were one of my parents and my sisters were some of the first amends that I made. They came and visited me in rehab, and those were hard conversations. There was a lot of tears. But as they said the biggest thing you can do, because they always tell you, what can I do to make it right? And the thing that all of them said was, don't give up on the steps, and don't let what a lot of addicts do, where time passes and they think, that wasn't that bad.
Right.
Surely I can have a drink. I mean, I can be like normal people and just have a glass of wine and be done. And that's just for people like me. As the big book says, we're like people who lose their legs. You never regrow new ones. And so I just have had to live with that every day and go, okay, even though I'm now over 10 years removed from this, one drink is too many and 1,000 is never enough.
Wow.